What's up guys, Shouri here, and today I am going to be showing you the 5 best heroes on Control, in my opinion. And at number 5, we have Johnny Jet. This man is absolutely unbelievable inside of Control. So, against bots, he's unkillable because they can't see you when you're invisible. So if you ever lose, Johnny is always the best thing in the world against bots, which is unfortunate that's the thing. But the good news is none of the games today are against bots, and he is so good against players as well. So basically what makes Johnny so good is you can flip on people for 1,000 damage, do a ton of damage, and then you can flip yourself back out, and whenever you're in the puddle, you are invisible. The other really cool thing is, whenever the meter to the right of your aimer is filled, it will explode for a ton of damage, but this damage also does an AoE effect hitting the other guy's teammates. Another cool thing is being able to change elevations with your flips. So, as you saw, I flipped from down bottom up top, but you can also flip down to lower levels and get even more distance. That's how we were able to go all the way into the middle without really being detected very easily. And also, when you're in your little pool, you also heal yourself, which is very good. As long as you're strafing back and forth and they're missing, you can then kind of just stand still on the corner of it and it'll keep you pretty safe. Right here, what we did was we ran back and then we healed the full, ran out to where all 3 of them were, and dropped our ult, and then we flipped right back out of danger. This allowed us to get the first 2 without taking damage, and then we reload while we're invisible, that way we don't take damage while reloading, and then we go back out and kill the Judix. And this is such a valuable thing, being able to reload while being invisible. This keeps you from taking damage, and it's just so nice to also get your health back as this is happening. Right here, we are waiting for the ult of the Sentry to go away before we go in, because that thing will track you down and kill you very quickly. So it is sometimes smarter to just have a little bit of game sense and have a little trigger discipline. You don't always want to just go in and get the kill. Right there, we actually flipped up top, healed just a bit, reloaded, and then went back. That way we would have the upper hand and confuse the Judix. It worked perfectly for a 13th streak. Number 4 is Shell. This is my personal favorite character to play in Control, and definitely one of the best. So, the reason Shell ends up being so good is hit and runs. You can go in there and hit them for some damage. If you have the passive, it'll also start to heal you, and then you can immediately get out of there with your Shadow Walk and go to a heal. You just want to do as much damage as you can, and then get out of there. You don't have to do everything at once with Shell. You can just do hit and runs, and then that confuses everyone and they're terrified of you, allowing your teammates to have a much easier time of being able to get you. So right here, what we're doing is we are able to just run out, sit there and hide behind the wall, and then we just wait for everyone to come. And that is what's so cool about Shell, is you can get out of places while invisible and do it very quickly. And even though you do tons of damage and you have a lot of abilities to get out of danger, your best thing that you have going for you is your surprise. Right here, we go ahead and hit all of them with our ult, and we're trying to stay as far back from the Jabali as possible and get a little bit of damage out, but most importantly, we're going back for that heal and then just letting our teammates kind of take over until we can come back in there. Remember, you can always heal yourself back with your damage as long as you're level 10, and this means that you don't always have to heal yourself to full. Just get yourself good enough. About 70% is about all you really need, and right here, we are going to use the little bit of a wall advantage we had to manual fire into the bot. That way, the Sentry couldn't kill us, but we could get the turret. Right here, we are going to chase down the Sentry and do whatever we can to go ahead and get that kill, and then we are moving on after we saw our teammate needed a little help, and right here we are just trying to stay out of line of sight and wait for them, but they were able to come back out. Luckily for us, we were able to get a pretty good amount of damage out. Headshots with Shell's really easy. You want to try to jump around as much as you can, but the headshots are super important for it. It will kill fast and easy. So next up is number 3, Scotty. This is my most favoritist thing to play in ranked because while Shell is the most fun, this one is the best at stopping characters that will make you lose the game. So this one could arguably be a number 1 if you're good enough with Scotty because of the fact that you can web Alettas and Lobulas, and there's just so much this character kills that it is very, very good. But the one downside is that it has low damage at range, and if you're not able to hit mostly headshots, it cannot be the best character. And since this is for every player, not just pro players, I think that Scotty's better at number 3. But luckily, it is an amazing hero to stick together with your teammates and watch over them. Because remember, there's a ton of things that are hard to kill that you can stop with your webs. Right there, we saw our Fade get the guy inside of his cannon, so we were just waiting for him to release him, and we immediately shoot to help him out. And right here, we are just trying to put in damage without taking too much. We have a really good Jabali that's just helping us with shields on the right side, and so we're just trying to peek over to the left and do whatever we can to help. Right here, we're just trying to make sure our Jabali doesn't die to that shell. Sadly, the shell was able to get out and kind of help kill him, and we did end up dying. We got people a little low though, and my teammates did good. Sadly, the shell tried to spawn kill me, and oh my god, were we lucky to live there. But we go ahead, heal up a little bit, and go down to help our team. I'm not going to worry about getting the heal right off the bat, because it's more important that I help my team, and they probably need it more than I did at the time. We do finally heal up to full though after getting that last kill, and here we're just trying to make sure that we give as much space between us and Fade as possible. That way we are able to move out of the way of him or web him. Sadly, he pinned us against the wall. Great job by Gandalf. Amazing play there, and we were taken out. Sadly, Fade is hard play against. Like, it's not great. Either way, we do have our own Fade, which helped us a lot, and we were able to go ahead and get the win. So, number 2 is Aletta. And this one is definitely best if you have the second ult, unless you are godlike, then the first ult can be better in some cases. But for most players, you are going to want to do the second ult. If you need to learn how to play Aletta without jumping, I have made a tutorial called Aletta for Dummies, and it teaches you how to compete even against really good players without using double jump or even jumping that much. And the reason for that is a lot of players have trouble with that. So if you're wondering if you are bad at Aletta and you aren't going to be able to play this one, that isn't true. You can. There are strategies and techniques that even the worst Alettas, me, can do very good with. So right here, what we did was we waited for our ult to come up and our teammates to kind of get in there, and we pop it immediately, going in and doing as much damage as possible. Sadly, we did get killed by Fire Justice, but what can you do? And we do immediately get back in there. That is the great part about Aletta. Sadly, we are in a really bad spot with our team being dead, so what we're going to do is just charge straight into the Judex, try to get away from the Sindri turret, and at least get a kill for our team. We didn't get away, but we did get the Judex, which is kind of good enough, I guess. Right here, I'm just trying to do a little bit of damage from afar, hoping my teammate can help me with the Sindri, instead of me having to use my ult to kill him because of the turret. But we gotta do what we gotta do. And right here, what we're doing is we are making sure we dash left to right. The reason this is important is if you dash straight forward, the Scotty will hit you with webs every time. The webs can still hit you if you go forward and backwards because you don't move. But if you're going side to side, you are a lot harder to hit. So when you're dashing, make sure you're using it to strafe while dashing. Right here, we are avoiding as much damage as possible, and then we're just going to stay until the heal's here. And even after that, we aren't going straight out. We're waiting for our teammates to push in from the right, and then we're going to go up to the left side. That way we pinch their team, and there's nowhere for them to hide. It ended up getting the Judex immediately and helping us get the Scotty, and then whenever the Sindri came in, it was 3v1. He already had no chance. So right here, we're going to wait and just listen for sound cues for footsteps to come in, and then we are going to just be able to go out, hit our ult, and kill the first guy immediately. Right here, I am very low and in very bad shape. I tried to dash into the heal, and instead I dashed into Fire of Justice. but that's because I'm a moron, not because Aletta's bad. But luckily, our teammates were able to do a good enough job to kind of keep it going, and we are able to get back out without too much cooldowns on their side, which is going to allow us to take the hill back pretty easily, and I am just trying to distract while my Johnny's hitting him in the back, allowing us to get that kill, and both of us be relatively healthy coming out of it. And right here, we are going to double jump dash, that way we can get up on the higher elevation, and then when we noticed the Sindri was low enough that we could kill him for sure with one ult, we just pushed in to go ahead and do that. Since we knew our teammates were pushing up there, I go ahead and push back behind the pillar to kind of go ahead and just stay out of danger while I was low, and then we push back in to bait out the Scotty. It worked perfectly, and as soon as the Scotty came back out where our team could kill him, I ran away. And that's the biggest thing with Aletta is hit and run. You want to do damage, get out. Do damage, get out. And another thing that's important is we were healing for 18,000 from health packs on top of our abilities. Because being near the health packs and knowing how long it's going to take you to get there is important. But number one is going to be Hua Ling. We also have an honorable mention after Hua, so stick around after this game. But either way, we are going to be talking about Hua and its amazing ability, especially with its passive, to see people through walls. That is the most overpowered ability ever. I mean, it's literal wall hacks, come on. And it is one of the easiest characters to snipe with once you figure it out. So, the reason most people that have trouble with Hua do that is because you need to lead your shots, and every other character in the game, you don't really have to do that. So, basically, you want to shoot where your target's gonna be when the arrow gets there. So, remember, you have to actually change the distance you lead your shots based on the distance you are from the person. So, right here, we are gonna fire, that way we can move faster to make the jump up, and we are able to go ahead and get that kill with the help of our teammates, and now we're just trying to help them take out the Sindri turret and keep our teammates alive in the hill. We don't necessarily have to kill anyone here, we just have to make sure that we're being annoying. Until my teammates all died. Now we have to actually kill people, so that's great. But the good news is they did stall for me, and I'm missing all my shots anyways, so I can't really blame them. Either way, we are going to have to pick it up, and right here, we are able to go ahead, kill the Christina, and then we finally start hitting some shots, and now there is only the Sindri left. I try to go ahead and take out the turret, since that's what's really screwing our team up in the hill. Luckily, we are able to kill the Sindri and get our 9 streak. So right here, we are just paying attention to where they're coming from. That way, if they don't come from the right, we can go to the left, but since they are on the right, we can pin this guy over here, and that just keeps him from being able to do very much. But since I know my teammate died in the middle, I need to go back out there before the other two guys come behind me, and I am able to fake them out, killing them both, and then the last guy is up here, and I use my ult to get more armor and then try to live through it, but sadly, they did end up killing me. We were able to win though. And last but not least, well, I guess it's technically least since it's not in the top 5. So last but definitely least, Loba. So I say this thing 100 different ways because I think it's funny, but Lob is one of the best characters when it comes to ease of play and being good against pretty much everything. So the reason that Lob is so good, especially at control, is the AoE splash damage that it gives you makes it where things like Johnny Jet, Aletta's, and other aggro characters are super easy to play against. And the other thing that it has going for it is not only does it have damage at range, but your ability also heals your armor, which is exactly why we backed up from the heal, letting the Victor have it. Sometimes you want to let your teammates heal, especially if they're on something like Victor that cannot heal itself. So we, with both Aletta, this, and Johnny Jet, can all heal ourselves. We don't really have to worry about going for the heal. Same thing with Shell. I mean, most of the characters I chose basically have a way to heal themselves in one of their abilities, which is very vital to being able to just go in and do work. Because you gotta heal yourself. In solo especially, you can't necessarily rely on your team all the time. So being able to go get the heal kill everyone and then stay alive is pretty important, and it's kind of weird the way matchmaking is now that you actually need that. That's why I definitely thought that Loba was definitely a good honorable mention to give, because as long as you're jumping up and down, your hitbox is messed up. Because Lob's always had this glitch where you're jumping up and down, you cannot be shot on the bottom half of your character, which makes it to where most of the shots just don't hit you. And it is very annoying, especially since you can heal your own armor, and that makes this a very OP character and worth mentioning for sure. And also, guys, Kazama's a good one, and I just didn't have enough room, so Kazama, also try that one. But because Lob can go 13-0, healing itself, doing all the objective work, is just a crazy one not to mention. And then Kazama, like I said, very good. All these games were back to back to back because these characters are just so OP, you don't really need very many takes. Either way, I do appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a great day.